Hello and welcome to Farming Simulator 2019 with me, Kevin Sawyer. Hope you guys and girls are all well and enjoying your day, whatever you're up to. As you can see, we're in midsummer. I have still not yet adjusted the money. I've been doing a lot of learning and a lot of stuff around on the farm, some modifications. Big thanks to Mad, Skipman and Sinky for your comments in the previous episode, and likes from everyone else put likes in as well, and took an interest in this. It's good to see people are still getting engaged with this, and you know, I want to see more of that, more engagement from you guys and girls. Like I said to Madman, I didn't want to place too much or change the map too much because I didn't want to ruin the map, because Oxygen J has done a brilliant mod on it, well, he's done a brilliant job on this, so to speak. Right, as you can see, the grass is fully grown on here. Some things I'm going to cover stuff I've also learned whilst playing Seasons. Reference to weeds and everything. Now I'll tell you how I did all my stuff, because I seeded everything first, then sprayed. I knew weeds would be a problem, so I sprayed herbicide down. From what I can understand, that's the wrong way of doing it. There is another way. Once you have sprayed it, once you have put the seed in, you've got to wait till it gets to a certain, once it starts growing, once it's germinated and it starts growing, you can take care of it there, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that today. I've still not got crop destruction on. I will be putting it on sooner rather than later. Now I'm getting used to it and everything else. Where's the tractors? They're all down here, aren't they? I'm flapping around. Today, hopefully, I'm going to be doing some grass cutting. There's nothing else I can really do on the farm as much. So what do I need? I'm going to grab, first of all, let's grab this. Don't know what that was all about. It flickered then. Screen flickered. But I'll show you what I've been up to in a sec as well. Reference to this farm. As you can see down there, I'll jump down there in a minute and show you. I'll show you what I've done down to that side of the map. I need to back into this, don't I? I could pull that out with the front hitch, I guess, but it's easier just to do this. What I might do is I might start setting up, as crop destruction is turned off, I might start setting up pause play on some of this and see if it works. But I'm really beginning to enjoy this map now. When I was playing on it, I was just like, I played about an hour and a half, and then I realised I played an hour and a half, and I was like, wow, okay. One thing I have learnt with Season is not for the faint of heart. Anyone that's never played with Seasons, oops, as I crashed straight into that post. I was going to try and take that. I didn't want to turn in too quick to there. Alright, let's fill this up the further side. And I'll do some testing as well today on how this works, and if this works the way I want it to work. Good thing with these ones, when you place them down, they don't really destroy the landscape around it. They just act as a Just as a trigger. I guess there's probably a cover on this. Yeah, there is a cover on this, which you have to open and close. Right. I put a little standpipe in here. In fact, there's other bits I need to make sure I've got. Did I actually get? I did get that. That should be at the dealership with a load of other stuff, which I might drive down. Once we get back round here, or once I've done this course. Downside of this map, the roads being so narrow, it's going to be very difficult to implement course play. What I may have to think about is making it one way in, one way out, which isn't a problem actually. Oops. I was thinking about getting those adjustable mirrors as well. I've got a few extra mods in. I'll show you. I've now integrated, against my better judgment, I integrated what mod did I integrate into this? I integrated the global company mod, I think it's called. Purely because of some of the barns I'm going to show you, you need that mod installed. I wasn't a big fan of it initially because it's just another thing to take up room on your HUD. So if I show you, look, if I bring up the HUD, I might not show it on here. I might have to jump out. If I think it's left control and G to bring up the HUD itself. But because the seed machine that was was a lot smaller, and these bale storage places going too fast. Didn't indicate either. Sorry about the squeaky chair. Still not replaced that. Right, as you can see. For you people that aren't aware how seasons works with weeds, now from what I've done, I don't know if this is true or not, so someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Apparently your best bet is to do all the herbicide spraying before putting the seeds down, then you'll never get any, in theory, never get any weeds at all. If I show you on the map, now, I had seeded these. This one here I'd seeded, this one here I'd seeded, and this one here I'd seeded. But it's very early stages. Literally, I just seeded these three. That's got grass on it, and I'd literally only just seeded these three when I sprayed them. So that might have taken into effect. This one I had left for a little while, so it might not have counted. But because you can see, it comes up in little patches, and then I have sprayed all these. I sprayed all these fields all together when they were still sort of like in the growing state, well, in germination, well, before germination, planted state, I should state. It seems to work on the grass fields, from what I'm, you know, even if it's germinated, if the weeds grow up, you can kill them straight away. But when I was spraying, I noticed the weeds weren't dying, and even with the rake, it didn't work with the rake either. This isn't fully fertilised. That's something which I might address at some point today. I'm not overly bothered because it's a smaller field. I took a gamble on this field over here. For this field here, 10. As I'll show, I should bring it up if I bring up the wheat types. As you can see, it's missed a bit there, but as you can see, I planted potato, sugarcane, OCR on there, and potatoes down here. And now if we go on to if I come out of here and go, oh, left, oh, yes, the minimal temperature for canola is 5 degrees. Now I don't know if that's ground temperature or air temperature. I suspect it's ground temperature. It was at 4 degrees when I planted it. It was a bit of a risk. Same with the potatoes, it was at 4 degrees when I planted it. The air temperature was also 4 degrees. So I figured, you know, it might be worth a go. So I risked it for a chocolate biscuit, so to speak. But anyway, I'm dilly-dallying. Let's just jump all back in the tractor. This is a way of solving the weed problem. If you do get it, even though if you have herbicided all the fields. But from as I can understand, what you should do is herbicide before seeding, and then you shouldn't get the problem at all. But this is a way around that if you have got to that point and you've kind of shot yourself in the foot. So I need alt control and fertilizing, seeding. Actually, what I want to do first is record a course. So if I hold this up, get this done. If I drive again, this is why I've got crop production turned off for the time being. So then it doesn't matter too much with course play, and again, if I'd narrow reels, it wouldn't be a problem. But I didn't want to faff around changing wheels out. I will be doing that as soon as crop construction comes along. I'll actually start changing wheels over to avoid damage. You may be wondering why I haven't bought the big sprayer as well. I'm thinking about buying that. Admittedly, I'm thinking, and I need your input again, guys, what sprayer to get. Weld and his wife is probably using, where's the crop protection? Where are you? Crop protection. Is it this one? No. I saw this tree markings mod as well. I've tried it, but it doesn't seem to work. Where are you? Forestry. I'm probably missing it here, peeps. Where are you? On this one. Ah, there we go. Crop protection. Right. Weldon and his wife's probably using either this one or this one. I figured. The in-game one and this one. Obviously, the passenger mod won't work with this one. Passenger mod will work with this one, and it does work with this one as well. But what would you prefer to see me using? You know, let me know what you guys want me to use. Because I can use this one for the bigger fields. Ideally, I need an even smaller sprayer, because even this gets caught up in some of the small fields. Not so bad on the big fields, but could do with 2 sprayers ideally. One, so then at least then I can get this sort of work done quicker as well. Let's just drive back round here till here. Let's reverse a little bit further back. And try getting sort of like roughly in the middle of the field-ish. Jump in tractor. And let's minimise that so we can see what we're doing. Now in theory this should work, but in practice it probably won't, because this is one of these ones with the double bucket syndrome, and in the past the double bucket doesn't actually work. What I can do is negate that by just taking the front bucket off it. I'm just trying it out. I don't think it will work. I think it'll glitch out on me. Like it did in the past. What happens is it'd get either way too heavy. I've got to remember to watch out for the farm as well, because I don't want to go too far. Because it's something which we're going to have to sort of like take into consideration. Doing this a lot with seasons, because you're going to have to spray a lot. On the conventional game, well, vanilla game I should say, all you have to do is just wait until it's the first growth stage, and then it just grows all in one patch, and then just rake it up. On this it kind of grows in patches, and some of it grows up fully mature straight away, and then sometimes it grows as young. So I'm just going to go outside view so I can get as close as I can with that, but not collide into it. That should be close enough as a trigger, like that, he says. And then drive it round. Now if I stick to my little one way out, one way in, one way out setup, things in theory shouldn't go wrong. In theory. I can go back in cab. But in practice stuff can go wrong easily. Now I'll show you this in a minute. I'll show you all that, so you know. What's going on in there. I've made it up so it fits both sort of like tastes for them in long term, sort of like if we do get it onto multiplayer, we can bale and we can also use loose straw, purely because I couldn't, well, loose straw, loose grass, loose hay, I could not find any place on this map, and I don't, you know, someone's have to tell me if there's a place you can actually store it. I could see a place where you could sell it, but I couldn't see a place where you could store it. And if I drive back down here, in theory this should negate any problems. It makes things a lot longer winded, admittedly. But it makes it more immersive. That's the phrase I'm going to go for. More immersive. Talking of Mr. Robot, I had a recommended video pop up on my YouTube the other day, and just for S&Gs, I watched it. It was one of his latest survival episodes, and I wouldn't call that farming simulator. I'd call that talking to a door simulator. I couldn't understand it, how people find that. I can understand where he's going with it, but things he could have done to improve on that whole situation is to get, you know, either some people involved do some voice acting with him, you know, even if it's some sort of like his regular subscribers or admin team, or try and do it as a multiplayer, as a closed server multiplayer sort of thing, and integrate other people into it, because, you know, it does make things more immersive. Anyway, I digress. I'm just gonna name this test for now. I can rename it later. To see if this actually works. Right. So first of all, I need to turn off that. Buy that fertilizer off. I guess it counts as fertilizer. I'm not entirely sure. Right. Right. Let's take that off. This may not work, peeps, so be prepared to laugh. Look at what you're doing. Right. What do we need to do? We need to go course generation. Field 15. Actually, I need to go back and go to settings and just make sure it's set liquid fertilizer. No, I didn't think it would be herbicide. Just in case. And sometimes that doesn't matter, but some cases I've noticed it has a problem. Talking of which, I haven't got the latest version of Courseplay, as you guys and girls can see. I must download the latest version. I suspect there is a newer version of this available, because I noticed the other day that when I was planting the potatoes, I had problems with it not working properly. What am I doing? That's it. Course generation. It kept on saying I was out of seed, and I'd put some seed in it. So I couldn't understand what was going on with that. So let's do a headland. I'm gonna say 3 to be on the safe side initially. Let's generate that. Can we generate? I've also noticed that it's taking a bit longer to generate some of the courses as well, so I might have to update this. Right, let's bring the test one in as well, and drive from first waypoint, drive course. Driving a bit like a loon. Driving a bit like me. Right. We'll let him crack on. Is that going down? Yeah, it is. I can see it dropping. Yes, I think it's dropping. Yeah, definitely dropping. Right. As I mean, I've already driven over some. I'm waiting till we drive over some more. You'll see it die as we drive over it, and then I'll crack on with the grass cutting. Well, I'll show you actually. I'll show you, because I've got to do a drive run in it anyway. What the barn is. There you go, see the grass is now, oh, sorry, not grass, the weed has died. So that's one way of getting around it. Obviously if you've got crop destruction on, you might want to make sure you've got a tractor or a vehicle that's got care wheels on it, otherwise you're going to have tram tracks. That's one way around it. If you and it should decrease the weed state, which then makes it gives you a better yield. But anyhow, let's jump over to the mower. I had to go back to the in-game mower. The other mower, the mower I initially had this modded version of this, was okay. It just a bit of a sound problem on it. Had a real weird sound problem with it, and it just was driving me nuts when I initially tested this. Because I actually tested this before it, to make sure it will work before, apart from that courseplay course. If the actual mod worked initially, so I just swapped it out. It's like ugh. So if I bring up cut field 7, that should be already done. I can do it. I'll show you how you do it actually. I'll just quickly delete this again. It's quite straightforward. Just make sure the settings on this, if I go back to this and then go to this and then go to this, make sure, where's the settings? That one. Not that one. I'm sure it's this one. Yeah, working with. Make sure that actually set to 10 meters. Because I've noticed that it was cool. It said to 3 meters, and that's what caught me out the first time I tried it. If you do it on a general you generate the course, it should automatically say it's 10 meters, but just double check it. Course generation. If you go click on that, this hasn't got any islands, so I don't need to worry about islands. I'm gonna go around 3 times. Now it will work with 2 times because I've tried this already off screen. It will work 2 times, but I just to give you an extra area margin, because the trailer I'm using at the moment is a stupidly modified trailer. It's a stupidly big one, but it just makes life a lot easier. So generate course, but I noticed when I tried it on 2 it was just about getting round, but with 3 it just gives you a bit more of a safety distance. So drive from first checkpoint. I might adjust his speed. He's going 14 miles an hour, which is okay, but it just looks a bit over quick, if you ask me. He looks like he's in control, because obviously he is, but I prefer to just do it at 10 miles an hour. No harm in just going slower. That way he won't, well, in theory he shouldn't make any mistakes. Now plan is, obviously I'm gonna, I just realised my mistake. Stop. I'm gonna have to go around. Stop. If I say current course, that should revert back. But I wanted to change that to sort of dumping. That's what I wanted to do. There we go. There we go. Just missed a bit. So I can come back and finish that. Give myself a lot of extra work to do. Right, what tractor? I'm going to take this case. Sinky once asked me if I was going to get the DLC, the class DLC. I'm in 2 months of getting that. If people are still on the fence about getting it, then would like me to do it as a view, then I'm willing to do that. But for what it actually is, I just don't think it's worth it, because there's enough mods out there to cover most of the class stuff that comes on the DLC anyway. Where am I going? I need an attachment. That's what I need. I need to get that stupidly long big trailer. Now, from what I can also understand with seasons, you don't need a tadder. You can just let it dry. As long as you've got a good couple of dry days, it will just dry on its own. You can tadder it to speed up the process, but will dry out some existing wet grass, or help dry it out, or help dry it out quicker. Why no. But it's advisable just to, they reckon, just let it dry naturally, which is quite good, because obviously you couldn't really do that on a vanilla game, because you'd problems with that. It would be the grass would start to be growing quite quickly, and then you'd be getting issues along that line, and you wouldn't know where the grass was, because it's growing through it's buried in all the thick new grass. The cut grass is buried in the thick new grass. Ooh, I'm going a bit too quick. Leadfoot strikes again. But this is just one of the tractors that I've found. There's many others you can find. This is off the mod hub, which is quite handy. But there's loads of case stuff already out for FS19, and there'll probably be a load more. Okay, the guarantee with the mod stuff, well, sorry, DLC, at least they're gonna sort of like make sure it's got compatibility with the game itself, and it shouldn't have any problems. Sorry if I'm not on the mic. It shouldn't have any problems along that with the game itself, where some mods can clash with certain aspects of the game, not optimised and all that good stuff. But even then, even Giants have done stuff with optimisation stuff in the past. Right, let's bring that down. Let's just start collecting this in the middle here. I will come around and collect the rest of this in a bit. That's what I'm going to do in the next field. I'm going to have it so it's widespread like this, let it dry, and then turn it into hay, and then collect it with a windrow. Get up the top of this hill here. It made me laugh going back to the Mr. Robot's survival series. It's just like, how can people really watch this? He's just talking to a door. It's obviously his own voice. He tries to put on sort of like fake voices for some of them, but it's blatantly him. Just made me laugh. As I say, it's a good idea in principle. I'm not knocking the guy for coming up with the idea. It just seems a bit daft, if you ask me. Talking to a door. One thing I will mention, going off of sim farming, going on to real farming. someone I've recently subscribed to. You guys may have already heard of him. His name's Farmer P. He does real life farming. It was recommended to me, and I started watching it, and I quite enjoyed watching it actually. Weirdly enough, I don't know why, but it's good insight to what they were getting up to. You know, and it was the camaraderie between him and his daughter Abby, which really made it enjoyable. What I'll do is I'll throw a link down below to his channel. There's no guns at your head to go and check it out, but I quite enjoyed it, and you know, for you guys that do enjoy farming and farming related sort of like stuff, it's definitely better than Daggerwin's talking to, or Mr. Robot's talking to a door simulator, as I call it, and a lot better than my Game Boy, admittedly, as well. But it's quite cool, quite a good watch, so give it a try. This is good. So again, look how this thing is, how much we collected on this thing already. Are we at 100% yet? No. I think we are now. Yep. Right, so let's turn around. I need to do a couple of outlines here. Just to get. I think it'd be alright with the third outline. I think I've probably overdone it, but because as I said, I did it as a test off screen and it worked pretty well. Just the two head rows. Just to give them a bit more space. But I'll show you guys what I've done around here. Why am I not moving? I bet I'm stuck. Am I stuck? I am stuck. How to get it wrong, simulator. Right, okay. Yeah, that should do it. This is the downside of this trailer. It's huge, it's humongously long, and you have to treat it like it's an Arctic. It's just too big for this map, to be honest, but it's a lot better than using that smaller one and then just going back and forth many a times. Because this is based off the in-game one. It's got colour changeable aspects to it and everything else. And I should have gone out to the other side of the road really, but that should swing round. And I'll show you what I've done in here. Right, what I'll do is I'll dump this first lot of grass first. The long-term plan is I'm going to incorporate a course into here. I've already done it actually. There is a course I've done on here already in the testing. See if this will work. It actually pulls up along this, which is a dryer, and then it spins round like this onto there. So then if I don't want to have grass venting, I'll still do it as a bale as well, so it gives both options to people. If they want to do it the traditional bale way, they can. But I've got these here because these are nice and small, easy to work with, and they you know, they're switchable, so you can turn them on and off. You don't have to have them on 24/7. You can turn them off. You don't need to use them. Same with this one. This is a mixed feeder. Again, just makes life a lot easier using this. But it takes both loose and bale. You can push the bales this way. These are the storage barns for bales itself. This got an auto trigger, so you just pull up, dump the bales in here. They appear in there automatically, and then when you want to get them back out again, you just pull in here, and then you can grab your bales. I think it's R, I think. Yeah, R to bring it up. There's no bales to take out as yet. Yeah, so look, if you select that, it gives you an option. You can collect all of them. It says pallets, but it means bales. So I've got all options covered, really. What do you think of the texturing I've done on here, though? My aim was to give it like a not overly muddy ground. Muddy that it's been used, like it's been driven over a few times, but it's still patches of grass here and there and everywhere, because obviously it's not used all the time. It's only used certain times of the year. That's the sort of like a thought process that went behind that. What I'll do is I'll let Courseplay get on with this. Now their downside is Courseplay does come up here. So I might have to re-record that. I don't want them crashing, so I think I'll do that first. Let's delete the existing test one I did. Let's unload field 7. And I'll re-record that now. Actually, shall I load the trolley trailer up? I probably would be a good idea. I don't think it'd make much difference. Just have to bear in mind, pretend it's a fully loaded trailer. Now you may be wondering, for you guys that know this map well, there's a gate that's halfway down where we're heading to now. The reason why I'm not going down there, I know... Oh, I mixed that up. I know that the fences and the bushes are non-collidable. Only the gates are collidable and the posts. And I could quite easily just do a course going through here. Let me just see how feasible it is to turn here quickly. I don't think it's going to work because this thing's like a stretched limo to drive. And this, to be fair, the steering on this isn't the greatest in this case. But it is a fairly long... Now what happens when I try and turn in here? It does go round. Ah, okay. That works. Oops, that doesn't work. But that will work. I figured it might... the back end's probably crashing through the gate, I suspect. But I can live with that. It kind of sort of works. Because the reason I did it the original way round, I was going up to that and then round, because it was giving me a better turning circle. But this actually works. It kind of works on a. So what I'm going to do is back up just so it's about halfway across the field. So it should be easily accessible to each one. Start recording course. Let's close that out quickly. see that glitching. I noticed that with anyone that plays this, there's that weird problem with the mirror. It kind of flashes. I think it's something to do with the way the light textures fall on it. Right, drive around here and then drive through the farm. I was going to call the farm a field then. Drive through the farm like this. I know it's a bit of a long-winded way of doing it, but it just minimises any collisions. If it was a track that was two tracked, it wouldn't be a problem. But because it's such a narrow track, you can only get one tractor down there at a time. I figured this is probably the better option. Right, so I'll show you what I did. Initially, this is what I did the first time around. I just drove it round here. And then drove it along here. Now the trigger won't come up on this while this is switched off, which is good. And that will only take bales, so I can take it nice and wide out here. That didn't work. So I need to take that wider. See, even I get it wrong. So if I get it wrong more often than not. So if I come back around again. Quickly. Turns well, but doesn't turn that well. Delete it roughly back to there, and then go back into the. Yeah, that should work, hopefully. And give it a nice wide turn, like it's a ocean going liner. That's better. It will work with a shorter trailer. Obviously it'd go round like a sixpence, but obviously it being such a long trailer, it's going to take a bit more effort to wind it round. But the plan is then I can just switch off that machine or switch it back on again, and I don't need to do two separate courses for the same thing. I can use that as an immediate chaff run if we ever do chaff off that, because that takes both chaff and grass. Don't think it takes hay. It takes I forget what the other one it takes actually. It starts with an L. It'll come back to me. But what are your thoughts, Pete, on the map layout? Be honest with me. Does it need improvement? Do you think it looks good? What I've done? Would you be willing to pay a multiplayer on there? I don't know if that's the downside. There's something which me and Sinky have got to iron out some of the bugs together. Is what works and what doesn't work with multiplayer. So again, this is all a bit of pie in the sky thinking. Until we've actually fully tested this and see what works and what doesn't work, I don't know. Right, so now he should. Now, if I get this just right, I'll just turn this right without going too wide, but not wide enough. That should go in through the gate just like that, and then I can just drive anywhere in the middle of the field. And then stop it there, just stop that, then, oh no, I just deleted it, oh no, right, okay, I'll do that again off screen. I'll start recording it from here actually. In theory it worked. Does idiot Kev decided to close it rather than save it? Where's that gate? Roughly back there, isn't it? But leave it at that, peeps. Probably dragged on long enough, and you don't want to see me do this again. But I hope you guys and girls enjoyed the episode. If you did, big thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. If you didn't like it for any reason at all, again, guys and girls, please feel free to dislike. Leave comments down below either way, just so then I know how to improve in the future. And if you know anyone else that would like to watch this again, guys and girls, please feel free to share. It helps me out a lot, and I don't mind you sharing. And if you're new to my channel and you see future episodes of this or anything else that I'm working on, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you're aware as soon as I upload a new video. I'll see you in the next one. TTFN.